Hello, and thank you for clicking on my video. Welcome to Iyaherbal's Apothecary. My name is Nikki, aka Iyaherbal, and I run an apothecary. And I do herbal consultations, and I also do medical astrology and or holistic astrology is what I like to call it because I incorporate a lot of things in the type of health astrology that I do. We do chakras, we do the moon cycles, we do Mars cycles, we do maybe even a little bit of tarot. We do a lot of things here. We do touch healing in the holistic astrology that I do. We find out what works for you. We find out your healthy body formula when we do what we do. Okay. And then today I want to discuss following the moon. Okay. So, okay, first of all, what is the moon? It's the Earth's natural satellite. Now, more than that, it's our satellite. It could be our satellite. The moon influences the bodies of water on Earth. You know, when the tide comes in, when the tide goes out, the moon influences that. And that's water. We're mostly made of water, I think about 70%. Um, the systems of the body that use that water are the filtration system, you know, the kidneys and the excretory system. It needs to help lubricate things along with the mucus. The mucus needs it to become mucus. Hormones, the immune system, and these are systems where disease starts. Knowing your flow could save your life. If you know what you're going through that day, certain surgeries are performed based on the movement of the moon. Certain studies will tell you to get things removed when the moon is waning, and that means the moon is being shaded or the moon is getting closer to the sun. And then to have things added on, maybe like breast enhancement, the BBLs during the waxing moon, not during the waning moon. And this is when the moon is becoming open. Let me see. Trying to explain how the moon waxes and wanes. So it becomes brighter and bigger when it is waxing. It becomes full moon. And when it's going down or becoming shaded, coming closer to the sun to be shaded, that is a waning moon. Now, the moon influences our days too, along with surgeries, you know, every day. Every day we're being influenced by the moon. Like, what are you thinking when someone says it's a full moon tonight? You know, like it's a full moon tonight. La luna loca, you know? Um, so for 30 days, it goes through a process, almost like an eye opening, you know, like an eye opening, and then it closes. That's a new moon. And then it slowly opens wide, and that is the full moon. Okay. That's a good way to picture it in your mind. Picture it in my mind anyway. Um, learning this inspired me to find me, or it at least allowed me to catch up with myself. You know, I learned which days I feel good and which days I feel off, you know, and some of us, I would say women who have a menstrual cycle are already in tuned with this type of flow. Yeah, like they're already in tune. But for those that are new to this, you know, you can start by using an app like this app here. It's called Stellarium, and you can follow the moon around from day to day. As you can see, you can move the time so that you can see where you are. And if I hit this little thing, this little rewind sign in the middle, it takes me to the exact time right now where the moon is. Okay. It's 8 in the morning And the moon is in Pisces. Pisces is a spiritual sign, a sleepy sign, a spiritual sign. Did I say that? I don't know. Okay. So yeah, you can start by generally the moon stays in one sign 2 to 4 days, depending on the sign, because some signs are bigger than others. Like if you go right next to see Pisces here is a fairly large constellation. If you go right beside it, you see the Aries is kind of tiny. It's kind of tiny. So Aries would probably fit the 2 day mark. So let me get back down here to Pisces. Okay. And you can start following the themes of the day. For instance, yesterday had an event, moons in Pisces. I had an injury to my foot uh, about a week ago now, and it's healing. And I walk on my feet every day, so it's gonna be kind of tough for a foot injury to heal, especially if you're walking on it every day. And it decided to flare up yesterday. I'm like, I've been doing everything I can. I've been putting castor oil on my foot, and mixing that with a little bit of charcoal to kind of stave off infection while it's healing, because I know I'm walking around, and it just decided to swell up. And I thought about it. I said, oh gosh, today the moon's in Pisces. Pisces is in my 6th house, so that's the house of health. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So my foot's swelling up. It was starting to hurt, but thankfully I had a few things with me at the event, some herbs that I was able to mix up really quick and help counteract that swelling that was happening and give me a little bit of relief, because that was horrible. But when you know these things, you can and you can even find like what kind of herbs you can use once you get to know your chart and which herbs correlate with which signs and things like that. That's getting too deep, but there's a lot of things that you can see here just by simply following the moon. And then you can find out your own natal moon, which would make it even more precise for you. You know, we're living life on repeat. Basically, every 30 days, we follow the same cycles. It might be in a different way, especially when you learn the cycles and you see how everything is going, you will notice that there's a pattern. And when you know the themes of the signs, you can start to adjust your patterns. Like, okay, it's a Gemini day, and if you're a writer, oh, maybe I can get some things knocked out today if I just make some time, take an hour to write. I can knock out probably get a lot done that day. If you're a teacher, it's a Sagittarius day. Come up with a great lesson plan for the week, and for your students. Pisces day. Okay, maybe you want to meditate. Maybe you want to go buy some water and release some things. Maybe you want to sleep. Just want to sleep and isolate yourself. Stay away from the public for the day. No. Um, yeah. There will be more on this, because as I learn, I want to share what I'm learning, because that's what we do. And I thank all the wonderful gurus in my life who have got me to this point of understanding and self-awareness. And I am glad to pay it forward in sharing what I have learned along the way. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and start a conversation below. Let's start talking about how you incorporate the movement of the moon in your life, if you do. Or if you don't, we can start a conversation with others that do, and we can learn from each other. on how to do that so that we can become our best self. We know when we're up, we know when it's time to go in the house, and we know when it's time to be outside, when we're our best self, you know? Okay.